Eurovision Countdown is the program that brings you the latest news and gossip in the run-up to this year's Eurovision Song Contest.
Hello, Europe!
I'm Jovan Radomir, and I'm your host again this year on Eurovision Countdown.
I'm Yana Churikova, one of the Russia's TV presenters.
I look forward to meet my co-host.
And I can't wait to show Jovan my Moscow, proud host of this year's Eurovision Song Contest.
In this episode, we meet some of the entries in this year's star-studded Eurovision lineup. EBU frontman Svantis Toxelius explains why juries are back in this year's voting. And of course, we talk to last year's winner, Dima Bilan. All this and more on Eurovision Countdown.
Yana, I'm so glad to be here in Moscow.
And I can't wait to show you all that Moscow has to offer. The coolest places, the most fascinating sites, all to prepare you and the viewers to the Eurovision Song Contest final, which is going to take place here in Moscow on May 16th.
I'm so excited now, even more curious than ever to see it. Let's go.
Окей. Можно на Красную площадь, тогда мы поедем. Let's start with the Red Square because it's a kind of a postcard plan. Everybody knows how it looks like, but I want you to feel how it feels like.
But first, let's remind ourselves how it is that the Eurovision Song Contest came to Russia in the first place.
You're right, that was the sweetest moment we have ever felt on the Eurovision when Dima Bilan has brought the victory to Russia.
It was here, at the Beogradska Arena in Belgrade, Serbia, where Dima Bilan won last year's Eurovision Song Contest. In front of 14,000 people and another 100 million watching live worldwide. With 12 points and a total of 272 points.
To Russia!
Russia!
Russia! Russia! Russia!
Dima was finally announced victorious. And for the first time ever in the history of the Eurovision Song Contest, Russia won. Arriving back in Moscow, Dima was welcomed by thousands of fans and given a hero's welcome by the media. Prime Minister Putin and President Medvedev weren't late in congratulating Dima.
Я успел поговорить после победы и с президентом по телефону. Слова были следующие. Мы очень рады за вашу победу. Огромных успехов и удачи вашей команде, поскольку вы делаете положительное дело.
Following the success in Belgrade, Dima was sent on a promotional tour of Europe, appearing on TV and radio, press conferences, signing sessions, and of course,
There is not a limit to what I can dream.
now the time has come for Moscow to host this year's Eurovision Song Contest, welcoming delegations from 42 countries, thousands of journalists, and even more Eurovision fans. And representing Russia this year is Anastasia.
Hi, I'm Anastasia Prihodko. I'm representing Russian and welcome to Moscow.
Anastasia, who's originally from Ukraine, won the hearts of the Russian people in the national selections with the song Mamo.
Моя песня, она про маму, mother. Вот. И я очень с трепетом к ней отношусь, потому что, в принципе, это посвящается всем женщинам, эта песня про маму.
Will Anastasia be able to keep the contest on Russian soil for yet another year?
Не люблю себя оценивать. Я в Бога верю, поэтому я считаю, что Он сам должен распределить, как оно будет. Но любой же человек всегда, конечно, мечтает о победе.
And, you know, I'm eager to see how it's going to work for us in the final because, you know, Anastasia's song is completely different from Dima Bilan's.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, and we have our fingers crossed as well.
Yeah, the competition is fiercer than ever this year when countries are preparing for one of the biggest musical showdowns by sending their biggest and most popular stars to Moscow. Did you know that France is sending Patricia Kaas?
Patricia Kaas is hugely popular among Russians, and I think many people are going to vote for her, definitely.
Yeah, we'll see.
For the past few years, France hasn't been placing very high in the Eurovision Song Contest. So this year, they're pulling out the big guns and sending one of their most successful international stars to Moscow, Patricia Kaas. She has sold over 16 million records and toured the world many times over. Will Patricia Kaas rocket France to victory?
She's a huge star in big parts of Europe, not only in France, but also in Germany and in Russia and Ukraine, all of Eastern Europe. She has a very French-sounding song as well, which might appeal both to the juries and to the televoters.
Recognise this Danish-born singer? It's Susanna Georgi, one half of pop group Me and My. Together with her sister, they've had numerous international hits. And, no stranger to the Eurovision Song Contest, Susanna presented Denmark's votes in 2007.
Good evening, Helsinki!
For the last 13 years, though, she's been living in the small, mountainous country of Andorra, which she'll also be competing for in this year's contest.
You made it so easy to fall, I could not stand at all.
Another Danish singer-songwriter is Niels Brink Christensen. He's enlisted the help of international superstar Ronan Keating. And together, they've written the up-tempo pop song Believe Again. Last year, Belgium sang in an entirely made-up language and didn't qualify for the final. Hoping to change that this year is rockabilly singer Patrick O'Sheen, who looks remarkably similar to, yes, Elvis Presley. Will the king of rock and roll crown Belgium this year's Eurovision winner? Singer and actress Jade Ewan beat other hopefuls in the UK national selection and will represent her country in Moscow.
I've earned the right.
The entry, which is aptly named It's My Time, is written by musical legend Sir Andrew Lloyd Webber and Diane Warren.
It's my time, my moment.
The promotion of the song nowadays is really important. She has been to 6 or 7 different countries and people know it now already, so they might maybe also vote for it in the final.
and they've already been promised a vote from the Russian Prime Minister Vladimir Putin himself.
Oh, it was not a very good idea to wear high-heel shoes on that ancient pavement. But closer to the Eurovision, I think that the competition will be even more tough this year. But you know what it means? They're a fantastic show.
Yeah, and I can't wait to see Sir Andrew Lloyd Webber grace the Eurovision stage. This means that the UK will be a hot contender this year.
But anyway, here's the competition. In the end, there will be a winner, that's it.
Yeah, and helping us to declare the winner and new for this year are the national juries who've been introduced into the selection. And Svante Stockselius is the executive producer of the Eurovision Song Contest, and he's explained it just a little bit more.
Svante?
Svante.
12 points pour l'Ukraine.
In response to the endless debate over bloc voting and neighborly points, the EBU have, beginning this year, reintroduced juries into the voting procedure, hoping this will once and for all end the criticisms.
It is true that we see tendencies of diaspora voting, that some people, they vote, they don't care about the song, they care about what country it is they're voting for. We also think that maybe we saw a tendency that there was a gap between the jury result and the televoting audience result, and by now combining them, we will get a fairer result.
In last year's grand final, a total of almost 9 million televotes were cast throughout Europe. This year, televotes will comprise 50% of a country's vote, while the other 50% will be determined by national juries.
We believe that some acts, some songs, needed more than maybe just one listening. They grow on you, and with musical experts, given this chance, we believe we will get more fair and better competition.
The national juries will be comprised of professionals from within the music industry of each country.
They need to be either songwriters, producers, working with music and radio or TV, but they need to be professionals and used to judge music. But they should listen to their heart and to their own taste, and not be affected by anything else, and no pressure from anyone.
This is how it will all work in the final. After all 25 performances are concluded, televoting all over Europe will begin as usual. Meanwhile, the national juries in each country will simultaneously cast their votes. Once voting has been concluded, the results of the televote are then combined with the results of the national jury, producing each country's scorecard.
Hopefully, most of the viewers and most of the involved people will see that in the end we will have a very fair result. We have a fair winner, like always.
I think this year's budget for the Eurovision Song Contest is going to shoot through the roof when Russia gets ready for the biggest and most spectacular show possible.
Oh, forget about the budget. We have gone behind the scenes and found out some exclusive information just for you.
We're going to get up close and personal with one of the biggest, if not the biggest, European events of the year.
We give you the scoop on the show.
A new year, a new song contest, and a new city. This also means a new version of the Eurovision logo, this year carrying the Russian flag. And a completely new sub-logo in the design of a fantasy bird. Unlike previous years, though, there is no slogan or theme for the 2009 Eurovision Song Contest. We've also uncovered this animation, which reveals what this year's stage will look like. It's comprised of 2,000 square meters of LED screen. And all the equipment together requires roughly 6 million watts of electricity. More to come soon.
Anyway, it's a hard-working day. Still, the best way to know what is the country about, you have to dive straight into its culture. And the best way to do this is to eat something local.
Yeah, it's snowing, raining, and I'm freezing. I'll try anything.
Some chestnuts. But try once. 2 порции, пожалуйста. Спасибо большое, thank you. That's for you, that's for me. You must not be afraid of trying something new. Anyway, like Finland does. This year, entry from Finland, you know, they're not afraid and they're succeeded, I suppose.
Oh, not bad at all.
But I told you.
Since their Eurovision victory in 2006, Finland has become synonymous with their brand of hard rock. However, with last year's frustrating 22nd place, the Finnish are trying a new tactic this year.
It's very upbeat. It's extremely catchy, and yeah, it's a new strategy for them.
Holding the record with a total of 7 Eurovision wins is Ireland. Hoping to bring the contest once again to Irish soil is lead singer Sinead Mulvey and the band Black Daisy. Before winning their national selection, Sinead flew the skies, working as a flight attendant. Now she's set to woo Europe as a singer. Portugal has surprisingly never won the Eurovision Song Contest. Hoping to change all that is the band Flor de Lis. Their sound is based on Portuguese folk music, combined with influences of world music, and their song title translates into English as All the Streets of Love. Romania has been close to a victory a couple of times, finishing 3rd and 4th. Hoping to win this year is Elena, singing about the Balkan Girls. Surely, this party anthem is set to raise the roof in Moscow. Since their astounding debut 2 years ago, Serbia has proved to be a real contender with their powerful and popular ballads, leading them to host the contest last year.
Good evening from Belgrade and welcome to Big Eurovision Party.
Marco and Milan have big shoes to fill in Moscow when they sing their song about a shoe, of course.
So if you're keeping your fingers crossed for the Russian entry, then I'm keeping mine crossed for Sweden and Serbia, as always.
But I think you're not the only person who's cheering up for Serbia and hope they will win again. By the way, this year is going to be your 3rd time in the competition.
Yeah, and you know what they say, 3rd time lucky.
But you're lucky 1st time around.
True, but Serbia would be even happier winning it again. It means so much for any country to win the Eurovision Song Contest.
And it means even more to host it.
Winning the Eurovision Song Contest is, of course, a huge prestige for any artist, group or country.
Вот эта победа, она была очень долгожданной, и поэтому Москва в день проведения финала уже не спала практически всю ночь. Это было сравнимо с каким-то невероятно каким-то национальным всеобщим праздником.
Winning also entails hosting the following year's Eurovision Song Contest, which in turn means all of Europe's eyes will be on the hosting city and the hosting country.
Ну, во-первых, это очень ответственное мероприятие, поскольку ни одна, ни две, ни три страны смотрят этот конкурс, и прямой эфир – это большая ответственность, в принципе, всегда. Но в этот раз особенно, поскольку конкурс ждали очень давно.
During the weeks surrounding the Eurovision Song Contest, delegations from all participating countries fill the city, together with thousands of journalists and countless fans. Hotels are fully booked, and bars and restaurants are packed with revelers. In short, the city thrives. And now that Moscow is next in a long line of cities to host the event, Russia's Eurovision efforts have finally paid off. In the last decade, Russia has become one of the most successful Eurovision countries, finishing in the top 3 5 times. When they represented Russia in 2003, the girl duo Tattoo were already world famous. Despite controversies and missing rehearsals, the girls finished 3rd in Latvia. Another girl group to cause controversy was Cerebro. Their lyrics about cherry pies and funny bunnies alluded to something not entirely appropriate for younger audiences. But it did collect points from all over Europe and managed to take a 3rd place. In 2000, Asu sang about going solo and won the hearts and votes of countless Europeans. Only 40 points behind Denmark, Asu finished 2nd and became the highest placing Russian entry. Until 2006, when we first met this young man. Beaten by the Finnish monsters, Dima Bilan had to settle for a very respectable 2nd place. But as we all know, it took only 2 years, and Dima was back for revenge and Eurovision victory.
Jovan, what happens if all the votes have been counted and the 2 countries have the same amount of points?
Well, there are, of course, rules should this happen. You then have to compare the amount of points, and the country with most points from most countries is the winner.
But it still could be equal.
Yeah, then more rules and more counting, you know. But there is someone that knows everything there is to know about the Eurovision. The one we all know and love, Dr. Eurovision.
Good evening, I'm Dr. Eurovision. Throughout the entire glorious history of the Eurovision Song Contest, only twice have 2 or more countries totaled the same amount of points once voting has been concluded. In 1969, a grand total of 4 countries all tied, and so the Netherlands, Spain, France and the United Kingdom were all declared winners. Yippee! To avoid this kind of debacle in the future, it was decided that the country with the most high-scoring points would be given the victory. Yeah! And thus, the first Eurovision tiebreak rule was created. So in 1991, when Sweden and France tied, Sweden was announced the winner. Since then, Eurovision has changed the rule yet again. And it now states that the winner is the song that had the most countries voting for it. Ironically though, had this rule been implemented back in '69 and '91, the winner of both contests would have been France! Well, I guess history isn't always fair, or as the French themselves would say, c'est la vie.
So now I totally get it.
I love Dr. Eurovision.
Time to move on for some more news and highlights.
This is the Basel-based band Lovebugs and their song The Highest Heights. They're internationally acclaimed, celebrating 15 years together, and have released 10 studio albums. Surely their mix of pop, indie, disco and rock will elevate Switzerland to higher heights in this year's Eurovision Song Contest. Since their debut in 2006, Armenia has placed in the top 10 all 3 times. Determined not to break this trend is award-winning sister duo Inga and Anush. They've been performing on stage together since 2002, impressing many with their unusual take on Armenian folk music. Lithuanian child prodigy Sasha's son established himself as a solo artist when he was just 12 years old. Since then, he's won numerous international competitions and even been commended for his work by the Lithuanian president himself.
I think this year we have a good mix of both up-tempo songs and ballads. Maybe we are having more ballads than usual because last year a ballad won. So many countries have thought that sending a ballad might be the key to victory.
It's up to Zoli Adok to fly the Hungarian flag in Moscow.
I see it in your eyes, you want to dance with me tonight.
Zoli has over 15 years' experience on stage as a musical artist and a well-known choreographer. Perhaps it's not so strange that his entry's entitled Dance With Me.
So Jovan, now your first day in Moscow is nearly over. I can't believe it.
Yeah, we've seen 15 of 42 entries so far.
And we have 27 yet to be revealed. So the competition this year is as tough as it gets.
And I got to see Moscow.
I'm going to show you even more next time.
In the meantime, if you want more news or gossip,
or if you want to see this program again,
you can always visit the official Eurovision webpage at eurovision.tv.
So, see you next time on Eurovision Countdown show.
Whatever you're gonna do, you don't want to miss it.
As we say in Russia, до свидания.
До свидания.
In the next episode, we take a closer look at the city of Moscow. We welcome back Slovakia and get acquainted with a few more of this year's entries, right here on Eurovision Countdown.